You know, for the longest time, building an app meant weeks, maybe months of coding and this huge barrier to entry. But what if you could go from just an idea to a working app in the time it takes to watch a movie? Well, that's exactly the revolutionary shift we're diving into today. A whole new era of software development powered entirely by AI.
Take a look at this number, 1 hour and 6 minutes. And get this isn't some guess or an estimate. This is the exact time it took one creator to build a nearly complete production-ready application, starting from literally nothing more than a prompt.
And look, this isn't just some theory, right? As this creator actually documented, this is a real, repeatable workflow. We're talking about a massive change in what's even possible, moving from AI as just a helper to AI as the primary builder. This completely changes the game.
Okay, so what's the big promise? What's the real deal here? For a while, AI tools could kind of spit out toy projects or maybe a simple website. But now, oh man, now we're seeing them create real, functional applications that solve actual business problems.
And this right here, this is the fundamental leap. I mean, a pretty user interface is one thing, sure, but a real app? It needs to remember users, it needs to store data, handle payments, all that messy stuff. That requires a back end, the complex brain of the whole operation. And now, for the very first time, AI can build that too.
And you can just imagine, the impact here is absolutely massive. Just like SEO expert Julian Goldie points out, this isn't just some techie curiosity. This is a full-blown business revolution. Suddenly, custom tools that used to cost a fortune and take months to build are within reach for pretty much anyone with a clear idea.
All right, so how does this actually work? Well, the whole thing starts with that initial spark, turning a simple text description into a working user interface.
And the process looks deceptively simple. You literally just describe what you want, say, an app to generate thumbnail images. The AI then goes and writes all the code you need. We're talking popular frameworks like React and TypeScript for that front end. And the result? Bam, a downloadable project ready to go in just minutes. And this slide just illustrates the difference so perfectly. The focus completely shifts. Instead of getting bogged down in all the syntax and spending weeks just to get a visual prototype, you can now focus on the important stuff, refining the core idea and the user experience, because the AI is handling all those tedious parts for you.
And listen to this, the speed of this evolution is just staggering. I mean, check this out. One creator building a note-taking app needed 60 different prompts with an older AI model. But with the latest version, Gemini 3 Pro, he built a better version of the exact same app with a single prompt. That's not just a small step up, that's an exponential leap in efficiency.
But let's be real, a pretty front end isn't a business. To make it a real scalable product, the app needs a brain. It needs that back end to do all the heavy lifting.
And this is the question, right? This is what has always separated the cool prototypes from the actual products. How do you manage user accounts? Where do you even store all the data? How do you handle things like payments and subscriptions?
Well, here's the game changer. The crucial breakthrough is the integration with back-end platforms like Google's Firebase or Supabase. These are the services that handle all that hard stuff: databases, user accounts, storage, and now AI can write the code that connects your app's front end directly to them. It's the missing piece of the puzzle.
So let's break this down. Your UI? That gets built by AI Studio. The database and user logins handled by Firebase. And what if you need to take payments? The AI can even integrate the Stripe API for you. It's kind of like an orchestra conductor telling all these super powerful services exactly how to work together in harmony.
Okay, but the pros? They're taking this even further. Instead of just relying on one AI, they're actually creating a team of specialized AI agents that work together, with each one handling a different part of the job.
So the key technology that makes this all possible is something called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like this. It's the USB-C for large language models. Yeah, really. It's a standard that lets all these different AIs, with all their different strengths, plug into the same project and communicate perfectly.
So a pro workflow might look something like this. First, you use an AI like Gemini, which is great at processing huge amounts of info, to do the initial research and planning. Then you hand that plan over to a specialist coding model to write the really complex logic. And finally, you have an automated testing agent that goes in, finds, and reports any bugs. See? Each AI does what it's best at, creating this incredibly efficient assembly line. And all of this is leading to a future where the interface for actually creating software becomes unbelievably natural. We're moving way beyond just text prompts to something much, much more intuitive. And this example right here shows exactly where this is all heading. Just imagine an app where you simply record a voice memo. The AI transcribes it, figures out the key topics, assigns tags, and formats it perfectly into a structured note. You're not typing code, you're just talking. People are calling this the new frontier of vibe coding, and it's easy to see why.
So what's the bottom line here? What does this all mean? Well, the big takeaway is that the rules have totally changed. Building an MVP in hours, not months, that's the new standard. Your job as a creator is becoming less about being a coder and more about being a visionary. That huge technical barrier to entry, it's basically collapsed, which means the single most valuable thing you can have now is a great idea.
And that brings us to our final thought, and it's a big one. For the first time, really, the main limitation isn't your technical skill or your budget or the size of your team, it's your imagination. So let me ask you, if building an app was truly as easy as just describing it, what problem would you solve first?